watching NewsX. I'm Rishabh Gulati. What a riveting poll it has been in Karnataka, culminating in a massive electoral campaign that, ladies and gentlemen, has gone off peacefully. Despite all the polarizing issues that you'd think were there, from a hijab controversy in Bengaluru, remember just about a year or so ago, to whether this person can sell this kind of thing in this temple or this or the other. A lot of the conversation has been around productive, proactive, progressive issues. That's a happy thing regardless of what happens. So where do things stand right now? The poll percentage has been pretty decent. Karnataka generally polls decently, above 70%, and we're expecting that figure as the final turnout numbers come our way. Bengaluru always trails behind the rest of the state. We have already had a conversation on why urban voters come out less. Mostly perhaps it's for the politicians to introspect why they can't motivate enough people in urban areas to come out with the right kinds of issues. So there's plenty to discuss, but now we are in the countdown to the only thing that matters. Who's winning? Now, everybody and their uncle is going to have an opinion on who they think is going to form a government come the end of the 13th of May. We'll know by about 11 a.m. in 3 days what exactly is happening at the hustings. But what matters right now is the perception, not only in Karnataka, and we'll be putting out every single number out there, but the perception amongst the people who are tracking this, the perception around the country. Remember, we are not only in the countdown for the results in Karnataka, there's Rajasthan after this, Madhya Pradesh after this, and a big general election coming up in now less than 1 year's time, believe it or not. Now, I've been doing this long enough to know that all the poll predictions we take with a pinch of salt. So what happens, ladies and gentlemen, is all agencies come out with some numbers, okay? The person who gets it right claims victory, and the other 4 or 5 people, pretend it never happened. So what is your say? We're even going to open up our phone lines in about 20 minutes time to take your say, your prediction. We have our experts with us who are going to give us their predictions. But meanwhile, I have my colleague Aarti who's with us, who's going to take you through what the situation was in 2018. So we have a baseline with which to examine the exit poll numbers of the poll polls as they come our way very shortly. Aarti, over to you.
Right, thank you, Rishabh. We're in fact going to take our viewers through the seat share of 2018. Firstly, if we take a look at the percentage, BJP had 46.43% of the seat share, Congress had 35.71%, while the JDS had 16.52%, lowest of the three. When you come to the seat numbers here, the BJP had 104, Congress had 78, while the JDS had 37 and others 3. We'll shortly take a look at the vote share as well. That'll give us a better understanding of how many votes each of these parties had clinched. Now, BJP had 36.22%. The Congress had 38.04%, while JDS had 18.36% and the others had 7.38%. The BJP, of course, getting the highest. But you see, there is sort of just a couple of percentage difference between BJP and Congress when it comes to the vote share, Rishabh.
Okay, well, that sets the baseline and that teaches a few things. The BJP came in terms of seats as the single largest party. But in the end, after much hullabaloo and one swearing in followed by another swearing in, it was the Congress and the JDS that formed a government. Some things have fundamentally changed. If this poll is too close to call, as many people might think it was, then H.D. Kumaraswamy is a totally different individual than, remember, H.D. Devagowda. And traditionally, H.D. Kumaraswamy has gone with the BJP and his father would go with the Congress. Will that be a factor? We don't know. Many people, of course, would hope that their party, either Congress or BJP, is winning it outright. You learn from that just the 2-3% of the votes make the difference in a large percentage of the seats in our parliamentary system. Let me open up this conversation. Anand Gurumurthy joining us, Matthew Anthony is with us, Vijay Krishnan is with us, Dr. S.K. Datta with us, and P.K. Nambiar. Anand Gurumurthy, of course, of the BJP, Mr. Anthony representing the Congress party. I'm going to take them one by one. Let me start with Dr. Datta in our studios. Dr. Datta, time has come. Okay, polls are closed. We can't release the exit polls for another 20 minutes. What's your prediction, sir?
It is too close a call. And in my understanding, Congress actually started with a good strategy. Congress campaigning peaked too early and it nosedived at the 11th hour. And for that, Congress itself has to be blamed. If they would have focused on governance, development, corruption, price rise, perhaps the situation would have been different. But then the fact that they tried to lace this with rampant and open minority appeasement in their manifesto So much so that they spoke about bringing back the Muslim reservation, revocation of the anti-conversion law, then, like a Bajrang Dal issue, equating that with a dreaded national, terrorist organization at the national level, PFI, and also revocation of the cow slaughter ban. I think these were some master stroke failure on
So,
part
Dr.
of
Datta,
the
where's your number?
Congress.
Is your number hung house advantage?
No,
Congress?
I don't think so. I think it's going to be a clear-cut majority. And what I see is like after the, rapid campaign done by the Honorable Prime Minister, I see a late swing of around 6 to 7% in favor of the
Okay,
Bharatiya
let me
Janata
take
Party.
the touch base with Vijay Krishnan. Vijay Krishnan, of course, you've seen him very active in political commentary when the crisis in Maharashtra was happening. Mr. Krishnan, what's your best bet? What's your gut reaction on what is happening while we wait for the exit poll numbers?
See, whatever is the ideological differences between Congress and BJP, but the common voter looks at his personal needs. The personal needs like basic amenities or employment opportunities. So I'm saying that other states, this is a state where one government alternates with another government represented by another party. I mean that every time voter gives a chance to other than the incumbent party, incumbent government BJP. Today BJP has been power in Karnataka. The issue is about corruption. And MLA Karnataka BJP MLA Virupaksha's son was caught red-handed. They may be honest in taking action against this government, but when the Karnataka co-in-charge Tamil Nadu's Annamalai comes and talks big about corruption in Tamil Nadu, why is not vocal about ending corruption?
But Vijayji, the election is over now. So who do you think is now winning? Are you thinking the Congress takes it? The Congress JDS combined takes it, the BJP takes it, the BJP JDS combined takes it. Who do you think is winning now?
See, I will tell you what should have been cakewalk. Congress has lost golden opportunity to just mark an easy victory, but because of certain issues like banning Bajrang Dal or going against the Hindu sentiment has costed them a lot.
Okay.
But despite these headwinds, I'm saying that BJP has a tough time to go halfway.
Okay, you say the BJP is in trouble, but you're not sticking your neck out. So that means it's too close to call even for you. But you say the BJP is in a bit of trouble. The Congress should have had a clear lead, but they muffed it towards the end. That's what SK Datta said also. Now let me start with Anand Gurumurthy first. Anand Gurumurthy, I know you are going to say very comfortably you are sweeping it with every possible seat in your bag, and Mr. Antony is going to say exactly the same thing. So I'm going to tell you what the voters said. We spoke to hundreds of people on the ground today. Yeah, nobody spoke about Bajrang Dal. Nobody spoke about Muslim quota. They were only speaking about local issues. All of them. 10% of the people. Now I know that's anecdotal. We can't ask people who they're voting for. We can ask them on what issues they're voting for. But when you guys, politicians, are coming up with strategies, why do you think that all these issues are the real issues when the real issue is literally still Bijli Sadak Pani, especially in a state poll?
See, it's fantastic that I was watching NewsX from the morning. In fact, I was part of the morning show also. So you guys covered it very well. Like you went to people, even through the polls, 1 month, you covered it very well. So I want to congratulate the media people, especially to go and cover people's issues and other things. See, basically, there are certain things which people speak of when you're talked to, okay? And that's the beauty of a voter, okay? He speaks certain things where your leading question takes him to, okay? So when you're talking about the local issues, they talk about the local issues. When you're talking about some parliamentary related issues, they talk about it. So it is something which the leading questions takes them to. Like, for example, now you have made me talk about something related to specifically about the voter. Instead, if you had told something about Modi, I would have started speaking about Modi.
Okay, fair enough. All right. You say the answer is predicated by the question. That's fair enough. Okay, so let me rephrase the question. What do you think has been the X factor for you? Is it, as always, the last siege of campaigning by Narendra Modi? And let's not ignore it. There is a factor, in especially in an election where 2-3% of the vote swing can make the difference. Is Narendra Modi capable of doing that? Yes, he is. He's done it in the past. But is that the factor, or do you think you got the issues right?
As far as my party goes, we have been, in this campaign mode from a year. Just like how Congress was active in campaign-related things, we have also been very active to understand the ground level. We have done so many surveys. and we have understood what the ground level was and how people were perceiving things. So, by and large, being the government that was in place, we faced some anxieties from people, okay, which is, termed as anti-incumbency. But we also saw certain positive things that were appearing between the fissures. And some of the positive things that people were seeing were how Corona was handled by both the central and the state governments.
Okay.
It was very positive for the people because it was a stage when people were really afraid of what is going to happen.
Okay,
And how
but,
responsibility.
I don't know if Corona was the biggest issue, voting issue this time around. So let me ask you another question then. Okay, last time, sir, let's look back at 2018. If you look at head-to-head with the Congress, you did enough to become the single largest party, not enough to initially form the government. That happened, of course, at a later age and stage. But you became the single largest party. But in the end, it was the JDS that did enough to initially deny you government formation. Now, in the past, Mr. H.D. Kumaraswamy has been a better friend of the BJP than his father. If push comes to shove, is he still your friend, sir?
As far as BJP's thinking is, we are not going to go in with anybody. We are going to form the government and we are going to get a clear majority. So we are going to form the government. That's it.
Okay, if that happens and then chapter closed, the rest of us can go home. If it doesn't happen, well, then you're giving me later hours in the studio. Let me get Mr. Anthony into this conversation. Mr. Anthony, first of all, credit to, all the parties concerned here. The poll campaign has ended. It's ended peaceably. There have not been, market violence. None of the political parties have been accused of hooliganism. It's good to see the Congress party actually also talk on substantive issues, at least the 5 promises, whether people agree with them, whether they work or don't work. At least they were on substantive people's issues, not just Modi bashing. So there are some positives to take away from this election. But in the end, sir, do you think you've done enough?
Rishabh, first of all, thank you. And I congratulate all the Congress workers as well as the party leaders, where we worked as a team, we delivered as a team. And we are sure of running home with a single majority to form the government on the 13th. Let's look into that one. Let's not look into larger announcements. And I'll tell you the reasons why we are sure of forming the government is the people of Karnataka were fed up with the 40% commission sarkara of the Karnataka government. I'll put a few numbers to all of our consideration. That is around 5,18,000 crores was the debt of Karnataka. 1,258 companies were closed down in Karnataka till 2019. 83,190 people lost job. 2.5 lakhs post-government jobs vacant. 3,400 crores of tenders issued on a public holiday out of 1,100 crores went for garbage. Bitcoin scam with CM and minister involved with 5,000 crores and 50% commission by the BBMC. Then 30% commission from the religious mutts. Santosh Patil, the BJP worker and a contractor, committing suicide by naming out Ishwarappa. And now, the last one in the straw is Virupaksha and his son being caught with the cash. What more, and the floods in the Bangalore city during the rain.
Okay.
What more does the people of Bangalore and the people of Karnataka with such kind
I
of
don't know
jobless,
what they want, sir, because in the end, you had a bit of time in government and the BJP had a bit of time in government, and they can either blame all of you or they can blame one of you.
Last time also BJP never had.
Okay,
BJP,
all right, okay, but there was the BJP came at single largest party last time. Okay, but no, I have a follow-up question. In the end, last time, sir, it was yours to lose. You were the incumbent. You lost the seats. It was Mr. Devagowda who came and helped you form the government. Is Mr. H.D. Kumaraswamy as good a friend as Mr. Devagowda? Can he bail you out again if needed?
No, really, because we don't have an alliance with ED, CBI, and other particular allies. So we don't have that in our hand to kind of force their neck down deep into the head. And right now we don't need anyone at this point of time because the party has performed well. The people have supported us well. The people have offered invaluable support for us to form the government. Let's see it on the 13th.
Okay, of course, we're all going to see it on the 13th. Let me get SK Datta back in. SK Datta, what's your thought on that? Now, history tells us that the Gowda family is very, very good at surviving, making a place, and playing both sides. They do it very smoothly. They do it very well. Father is upset with son. Son is upset with father. They do an extremely good job when it comes to understanding that they are going to be the third party. And the third party, the best position is kingmaker. But historically, H.D. Kumaraswamy and Deve Gowda, the senior has been closer to the Congress and the junior has been closer to the BJP. The senior is of a particular age now. If Yediyurappa is of a retirement age, so is Mr. Gowda. There is a certain age, there is certain position in health. Who do you think will decide? Will HDK have the chance to decide this time if he has enough numbers to make a difference?
Well, Rishabh, what I understand is like the way the situation in Karnataka unfolded, and especially the way things went in the last 10 days or so, I would say that there was a complete polarization both in favor of the Bharatiya Janata Party and polarization of the minority community in favor of the Congress Party. So therefore, I understand that it is going to be a clear-cut verdict for the Bharatiya Janata Party-led government in Karnataka. I would say that they would be crossing the halfway mark.
Okay, so what are the positives,
In case if it is a hung assembly, and if there is a requirement of getting support, I think Kumaraswamy would go with the BJP and not the other way.
All right. Okay. At least you've given a straightforward answer to this. But Mr. Datta, what is then working for the BJP? Because with all due respect, it is not necessarily Chief Minister Bommai who is single-handedly going to swing an election. Mr. Yediyurappa was an important factor. There's no denying it. I mean, the time when he was not in the party suffered. So, he's not there. So is it just Narendra Modi? Is he expected to win Karnataka for the BJP as well? Just him, his personality, his record, his appreciation?
To a great extent, yes. And I have reasons to say this. If you look into the last series of elections, and let me take 2-3 of them one by one. In the case of Uttarakhand, there was a prediction that the Bharatiya Janata Party government will be ruled out of power after the elections. Prime Minister Modi came, and then there was a late last hour swing of around 6 to 7% because of the Modi factor in Uttarakhand. In Himachal Pradesh, everyone knew that the Bharatiya Janata Party would be wiped out in the election. PM's campaigning created a swing, so much so that the BJP lost the election in Himachal Pradesh by 0.02%. In the case of Gujarat also, there was a 7% swing after the Prime Minister took the whole thing into his hands.
Every time if the BJP is going to be reliant on just Narendra Modi, now he does it. He understands that he is the biggest vote catcher and therefore he has a duty to go everywhere for his party. The campaigning, voting is not even ended in Karnataka. He's already out campaigning in Rajasthan because he knows that's another important state. Then Madhya Pradesh is coming up. Rajalakshmi Joshi joining us on the broadcast. Ms. Joshi, let's try to get you into the telecast very quickly on this prediction. Before that, let me get Mr. Vijay Krishnan back in. Mr. Vijay Krishnan, in a practical sense, do you agree with Dr. Datta that this was a polarized election?
First of all, I have objection to the word polarization because in this country since time immemorial has been a secular country. This is the values as a Hindu I've inherited. So I don't want to get into this word polarization. If any injustice happens to any community, we need to give a voice. So when we are talking about certain serious aspects like illegal conversion, all communities should come forward and try to address the issue wherein all communities try together. So today Islamic State or any terror organization is a problem to a country. So when you compare Bajrang Dal with Congress, with the Bajrang Dal with Islamic State, then you are committing a mistake. When you're comparing Bajrang Dal with the PFI, you're committing a mistake. I'm saying please do not use the word polarization at all.
Okay, all right. It's a mistake. It's not polarization. It's a mistake. But again, the point remains. I'll give you an example to people watching this broadcast. Okay, the biggest hot topic issue which became a national churner. Okay, hours and hours and perhaps thousands of hours of discussion, Supreme Court hearings, High Court hearings, was on the wearing of a hijab during university exams. Okay. Did you see it mentioned anywhere in this poll campaign by any party at any side at any level? Issue disappeared, okay? Which sometimes tells you that none of the political parties found currency in the issue, so the issue was created when it happened. This gives us an understanding of how political parties pick what they think that matters, and what they don't think that matters, they discard. Now, there is clearly some assumption being made that these issues matters. Everybody who's done any sense of history over the past 10-15 years knows that religious-based quotas are always struck down by the Supreme Court as unconstitutional. But they still get offered, okay, knowing full well that they'll be struck down by the courts. A lot of time wasting happens. Regardless, we can have some fun in speculation because the politicians take over on the 13th. So, Rajalakshmi Joshi, let us make hay while we can, while the sun shines. Who do you think is winning?
Rishabh, there was a time in the start of the election campaign when Congress did look like, it is going to give a very tough fight. But then towards the last leg, somehow the Congress seems to have completely lost the plot. They have done self-goal after self-goal, and they have created blunder after blunder. And it is shocking that they keep repeating the same mistakes in every election. They keep going for.
Okay, so Ms. Joshi, what do you think? You think hung house advantage BJP? You think BJP sweeps it, wins it, just gets past it? What do you think your number is?
You're asking me?
Yes.
Yes. So what I feel is BJP could comfortably get between 115 to 135. And this is what I feel like. Like I said, the numbers have drastically increased over the last few days. And then the way I see it, maybe the Congress could get between, say, 75 to 85, in that range.
Okay.
And the JDS could be in the range of, say, in the 20s, say 15 to 20 or 25.
Okay, I appreciate it. You stuck your neck out there. This is a live telecast and you stuck your neck out there. But the caveat you made is the same as what Dr. Datta made, that the Congress looked ahead, but the BJP is caught up at the end. We don't know. We'll find out on the 13th. Let me get the politicians back into this conversation and ask a more substantive question, because we know what they'll say once the exit poll numbers come out in about 3 to 4 minutes. Anand Gurumurthy, when it comes to what happens next, in the end, do you think that your government, in the time it had, did not have a full term, okay, in which it had 2 chief ministers? Do you think a government had delivered enough vikas, enough vishwas to win it on its own accord, not because of the blunders of the Congress?
See, one thing I tell you, in the 3.5 years that we got to rule as a BJP, single party ruling the state, good things have been done. Okay, despite I was speaking about the Corona times, despite that, and our fiscal deficit went really down after that for a year. But then we brought it back and we ensured that the beneficiary schemes which the central government and the state government gives reach the last mile through our DCs. All this has been done, and a kind of process has been set in to ensure that the beneficiaries are getting what they should receive, which is very important, because see, the plan and the agenda that the Prime Minister runs is very clear. Okay, ensure that people go one level up in their life. Like, for example, if there's a lower middle class person, at least in one generation, they have to go to the middle class. Next generation, they have to go to the upper middle class. And then, there should be a climbing factor for everybody.
Okay.
Now,
long-term plan, you say, yes, we have done enough on the progressive agenda. We are not relying on the blunders of the Congress's campaigning if we win this one. Let me flip the question around. I've got 1 minute, Mr. Antony, before I start releasing some numbers. Do you think that you have done enough of a progressive agenda, not just banking on the mess-ups of the present incumbent government, but on your positivity, your vision?
Of course, yes. That's the 5-point agenda where we have promised the youth, the jobs, the women, the free safety travel, as well as the income for the diploma holders, the farmers facility, and a lot of other things, and the free electricity. So there is a lot of vision which has been unfolded in the last 5 promises, which we will be implementing in the first day of the cabinet meeting itself after the government formation, once the results are out on the 13th. So we are very clear about the vision which we are going to unfold for Karnataka, because Karnataka has to remain the IT capital of the country, because it was the IT capital, but a lot of business have been shifted from Karnataka to other states in the last 5 years.
Okay.
So we have to retain the capitalship of Karnataka as the IT capital, which can provide employment, which can boost the real estate, which can boost a lot of other employment opportunities in the state.
Okay, the clock has safely struck past 6:30 p.m. Therefore, the EC notification no longer applies to me. We are going to begin, ladies and gentlemen, by offering everybody around us the opportunity to have their prediction. And it is a prediction because, like I said, I've done this long enough. When I began this profession, I used to be very gung-ho about exit polls, and I used to really believe in them and, decide my life upon them. I wouldn't now, so I take them with a pinch of salt. I'll recommend that to everyone. But regardless, there is a scientific principle called the wisdom of the crowd. It's not an opinion. It is an actually bona fide principle in econometrics. So let us now get an assessment of who do you think is winning the assembly elections in Karnataka. We have put out a snap poll which has been conducted in the last 1 hour on Twitter, which is a perspective not just from Karnataka but across the country on the perception of who they think are winning after what they've seen on television all day. Then we are putting out what our experts think. Some questions I've asked, we've collated all of that. Then every single poll out there is going to be coming your way. Let me break this down. My colleague Aarti is standing by. Aarti, let's have a look at the expert predictions. Then we take them with our studio. Then let's have a look at the snap poll. Let's do it one by one. Aarti, over to you.
I have with me expert opinions. Like you said, we've asked them what they think each party is going to get. These are their predictions. Firstly, Syed Jawad, political analyst, thinks the BJP will get 78 to 85 seats. The Congress with 115 to 125. The JDS 22 to 26 in the other 0 to 3. Okay, next we have Sumit Peer, who thinks 100 to 106 will be won by the BJP. The Congress will get 85 to 90 is what he thinks. Rajlakshmi Joshi thinks 115 to 135. She thinks Congress is going to get 75 to 88 and JDS 15 to 20. This is Joyita Basu, who thinks the BJP is going to get 105 to 110. The Congress is going to get 90 to 95 is what she predicts.
Okay, so just there, very close and perhaps hung, but everybody here is suggesting advantage BJP. Then, of course, we have the tabulation of what people across the country feel from their perceptions of watching Karnataka, and then we get to the Karnataka numbers. Let's have a look at what the snap poll is indicating to us at this point of time as well. The information that we are getting is that, and let me read it out for you, it is too close to call. Even in our snap poll, the prediction is Congress BJP split down the middle. There is a secondary prediction that if it's a hung house, it's advantage BJP. Almost no one think in a hung house it will be advantage Congress. So either the Congress is forming the government, or in a hung house situation is certainly not advantage to the Congress. And this is a poll not restricted to the voters of Karnataka. This is the perception nationally. Like I said, wisdom of the crowd applies here. So we're going to give you every possible number and hopefully we are closer to the truth by the end of the conversation. And if you're not, well, then the 13th happens and we all walk away quietly, hopefully. Our phone lines are also open. There's a number at the bottom of your screen, 011-613-62050, 011-613-62050. You can give us a call if you're living in Karnataka and have an opinion on who you think is winning this election after you've cast your vote, and we'll pick up those conversations as well as they come our way. Okay, Dr. Datta, quick last thoughts. You want to put a figure to it?
Yes, Rishabh, I would say that the Bharatiya Janata Party would be getting a total number of seats around 115 to 135. Congress would finally land up with around 70 to 75 seats, and the rest would go to the Janata Dal Secular and the Independents.
Okay. So we've heard the predictions over here. Let's quickly get a perspective now in, as I mentioned, from our snap poll as well. Rajalakshmi Joshi, we put your figures out there also. What makes you confident that the BJP has done enough to swing the numbers that way? Because a lot of people think it's much closer.
Rishabh, the way I see it is, there has been a lot of effort in terms of infrastructure. Though yes, there are some complaints about say maybe some the quality of.
Okay, just hold your thought, ma'am. I just want to read these figures, then I'm coming straight back to you. So this is the snap poll conducted in the last 1 hour by NewsX. This is of the perspective and the perception about all of us together on what is taking place. 52.1% of those who have voted say the BJP wins it outright. 30.6% say it's the Indian National Congress. 14.8% say advantage BJP. And 2.5% say advantage Congress in a hung assembly scenario. This is not scientific by any measure. And I promise you, all the polls that show you methodologies and pretend to be scientific generally aren't anyway either. So we are giving you a perspective of what is going on. One of the persons who is calling us in the broadcast now, Srikar, is joining us. Srikar ji, who do you think is winning?
Hello.
Yes, who do you think is winning, sir?
Yeah, it is the BJP before 2-3 weeks, it was not. It was in Congress favor, but after Mr. Modi came, then each family thought that their head of their family has come, and they have such a heartfelt connect to him. So it was very, very nice, and that is what is the trend now.
Okay, so we have Mr. Srikaru joining us from Bengaluru. He's clearly batting for the BJP. We are getting calls from literally all over the country. So people are excited about the Karnataka elections. We'll be coming to them very, very shortly and take it step by step. Now, ladies and gentlemen, there are 5 particular poll agencies that are putting out polls. All the numbers will be coming up at the bottom of your screens for you to read along with us, so that all the numbers are available with you, and then you can do an average of averages, which is something we'll help you do also, which will get us closer, hopefully, to an articulated figure. I can tell you that every single political party at every single polling booth has a polling agent, and as we speak, all of them are compiling their own internal exit polls. Now, those are never officially published, but hopefully we will get a wind of them, and they will indicate something special one way or the other, because there's as authentic as it gets. Neil Kamath is joining us on the broadcast. Neil Kamath ji, what's your perspective looking at Karnataka on who you think has the advantage?
Hello.
Yes, Neil Kamath ji, आपका perspective क्या है? कौन जीत रहा है आपके हिसाब से?
Gujarat.
Yes, go ahead.
BJP will win 115 to 125 seats.
Okay, you're expecting BJP to do enough to have formed a government. Nagaraj is calling us from Bengaluru. Mr. Nagaraj, who do you think is winning, sir, now that the votes are over? Nagaraj ji, if you can hear me, who do you think is winning, sir?
Yeah, I can hear you, sir.
Yes,
I can
go
hear
ahead,
you.
Go ahead. Who do you think is winning, sir?
Yeah, BJP is going to win about 125 to 130 seats.
Okay, you're also expecting a BJP win. That just might be anecdotal. The people who are calling us are expecting a BJP win. We'll open up this conversation one by one. Okay, now the important conversation regarding voter turnout. Let me just touch upon it before I get you all the exit poll numbers. SK Datta is with me. SK Datta, now you can call it both ways. 20 years ago, we were told large voter turnout means anti-incumbency. At this point of time, we're expecting an average for Karnataka voter turnout is going to hit the 71-72% mark, where it was roughly last time. That's a healthy voter turnout. It's not abysmal by any regards. But now we are told this is pro-incumbency, that people are enthusiastic about voting the incumbent government. On which side do you lie, sir?
Well, Rishabh, I think it is a pro-incumbency as such, and especially after the thing which was taken by Narendra Modi ji, once he took over the whole election machinery into his hands for the Bharatiya Janata Party, there has been a quantum swing in favor of the Bharatiya Janata Party. I do have the voting percentage figure for 5 p.m. As per the Election Commission records, it says 65.69%.
Yeah.
So, in my understanding, there would be another final tally which will be given by the Election Commission.
There is going to be another.
And that will be around 7 o'clock and 7 o'clock. And I think the overall percentage would be touching around 70% in Karnataka. And that would be a historic percentage in terms of election.
Okay. Historic means it would be healthy, and in terms of roughly what Karnataka does every time. Matthew Anthony, you are, of course, I'm assuming, going to argue that more people coming out is because they're upset with the government, not because they're happy with the government.
Rishabh, for an emotional sense, we can count on this exit polls. But actually, the votes of the people in Karnataka will count, and you are counting exit polls from people outside Karnataka. And it's their emotions which is speaking of who to win and whom not to win.
Yeah.
Now let us see on how the Kannadigas are voted. The Kannadigas are, if at all your people have been in the ground, you have heard a lot of them speaking. Forget about the party. You have heard a lot of them speaking about their inconveniences in their life. And we have addressed that. And we are quite confident that we are winning on that perspective, because we have promised to address those ones. And our previous government under Siddaramaiah has delivered a lot of the promises which has been promised to them.
Okay.
So that's the confidence in which I'm speaking here right now.
Okay, let me just address the issue with Mr. Gurumurthy before I take more callers. Mr. Gurumurthy, a respectable voter turnout on average, nothing abysmal, but not necessarily record-breaking either. Generally, we would be told that people who are upset with you are coming out because they want to throw you out. Do you think the people who are happy with you are coming out to support you? Why?
This is a celebration of democracy, okay? I don't know how you put it as people are upset. I don't know. As you said, from 20 years, only in the media I've heard about this. Okay, people saying that, okay, people are coming to throw out a government or support a government. The emotions can switch, right? So we cannot exactly measure that. But I would like to add one point here. Okay, most of us are trying to read with respect to the beneficiary, this thing, guarantees that are being given by the opposition or the benefits that the current government is already giving. Okay, we are trying to read an election, but there are many other multiple factors. So I would say it is a little bit more tricky from here. Okay,
Anand Gurubarti, you're being diplomatic. You know there's a WhatsApp group somewhere in which you will be getting the figures of your own party estimates very shortly. I know you can't share that with me. I don't want to get you into trouble. But if I get an inclination from other sources, I will let people know on the broadcast of what the parties feel and how well they're doing. Right now, they all think they're doing rather well. What do the callers feel? The people from Karnataka who are calling us, people from outside Karnataka who are calling us, very excited about this. I have 3 callers waiting with us. Subramaniam is with us. Okay, Madhu is joining us on the broadcast. Madhu, you are from Karnataka. Where in Karnataka?
Yeah, I'm from Hosdurga.
Okay, and who do you think is winning, Madhuji?
Sir, BJP. It's clear of BJP.
Okay. You think BJP. Vijayan is joining us from the capital in Bengaluru. Vijayan.
Yeah.
Vijayan ji, who do you think is winning, sir?
I am from Bangalore.
Yes.
I have voted in Bangalore. I think BJP will win. BJP may get around 130 to 140 seats.
Okay, you're thinking not only win, but you're thinking a thumping win, which will be something remarkable. Dr. Datta, I don't know which way they goes. The exit poll numbers are in front of me. I'm going to be putting them out on our screens very shortly, and we're putting out every poll out there. The exit polls are giving advantage to Congress in a very close fight. The callers are all insisting that it's the BJP. You are insisting it's the BJP. Rajalakshmi Joshi and others are also insisting that the BJP has the advantage. Which way do you think it finally goes? Would you change your opinion after the exit polls come out, sir?
I would go with the callers. And I would say that the callers are reflecting the ground reality. And it's not that like the Karyakartas of BJP are making call or something. These are random callers as such. And since early morning itself, while doing several shows with your channel today, I have seen callers calling up and they are categorically saying about Bharatiya Janata Party. And that's across the whole of Karnataka. It's not selected only to Bengaluru or Mysuru region as such. So that itself speaks about the pulse at the ground level at the last moment. And I personally myself, I have never ever gone by the analysis of any opinion poll or exit poll.
Okay, I'm going to spend 2 more minutes taking a few callers and then I want to jump into all the numbers which I can now see before me. Very interesting set, and as expected, the exit polls, ladies and gentlemen, all over the place. So we'll have to do an average to give you an understanding of where they all land up. Sabya is joining us from Bengaluru. Sabya, go ahead. Who do you think is winning? Sabya, forgive us, we can't hear you very clearly. If you are able to call us back, why don't you call us back, because I can't hear you very clearly. We missed what you said. Hopefully you voted, or members of your family have voted for sure. Fascinating information. Okay, let's try to now make an effort and start pulling out the details that are coming our way of the poll of polls, which we're going to put at the bottom of your screens as well as all over your screens, because this is about the numbers. That's the snap poll. You heard the expert take. You heard the callers who are all enthusiastic and going for the BJP. We'll get more callers as we continue this telecast. Let's put out the first data that we have on our screens. This is coming up from Polstrat. The Polstrat poll agency is now putting out the exit poll numbers as BJP 88 to 98, Congress 99 to 109, JDS 21 to 26. The definition of this, ladies and gentlemen, is they are predicting a near hung assembly with advantage to the Congress, but the requirement most likely of either of the two parties being able to form a government with the support of the JDS. That's the first poll of polls data that we're going to put out on your screens. Quick thoughts on this, Mr. Datta.
Well, Rishabh, as I have said in the past also, exit poll analysis and opinion polls have proven to be false as such. And it has happened many times, not only in terms of the Lok Sabha election also, but in terms of assembly elections also. I respect the methodology of exit poll and opinion poll, but I do not buy the argument that exit poll or opinion poll is actually the reflection of the reality. Reality in the past has been totally opposite of the exit polls and opinion polls. And I think the reality of the Karnataka election on the 13th will be exactly opposite of what the exit polls are saying. And in my understanding, it is going to be a clear-cut majority government of the Bharatiya
Okay,
Janata
Raja Lakshmi Joshi, first numbers now being popped up on your screens. Hung house, advantage, Congress says one, others are saying much closer, some are putting advantage BJP. I'm going to read them out one by one, but what's your perspective on the first, which is completely antithetical to what you've just told us, ma'am?
It all depends on, the kind of the survey that they have done. And, you have seen, especially in Uttar Pradesh, you have seen how the result was completely different to what was being predicted. So you have seen it was a complete sweep. So and that is how, just like in fact, I am pleasantly surprised to see that Professor Datta's prediction matches exactly what I was saying about the BJP. So, and that is exactly how I feel also. So I don't really agree with these figures that the first poll has come up. But yes, everybody is entitled to their
All
own.
right.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.